Janelle apparently found a thrift store which is giving away a bunch of stuff for free right now. And she noticed what might be some shelves and some old cables and electronics. So I'm gonna check it out. Finding anything?
Found free stuff.
Can you show me where the free stuff is?
Well, anything. It's all free. We love free stuff.
Those other ladies over there were checking out your camera.
Mine?
Yeah, there's some ladies. Hey friend, what is up? Welcome to the Daily Slack. Well, actually the Daily Slack is over because the Daily Slack was my daily video blogs throughout all of July as I was documenting the process of trying to make this slacklining web series happen. And it's now August 1st, which is crazy. So we start shooting the series this week, which is crazy. There's so much going on in my head right now and so many things that need to get like sorted and figured out. It's pretty bonkers. We're gonna start off today actually by building some shelves because I need to do something tactile and physical, and then as we move through today I'm going to share with you just some of the things that have been going on in my mind as far as I'm trying to describe how I'm going to talk about it, but it's like the creative stress, and it's good but it's also challenging. And first step is we're going to build some shelves for our storage room over there. So the other day, Janelle found this thrift store that was giving away a bunch of stuff for free. And we love free stuff. So we essentially got a bunch of these free metal shelves, but like not the whole shelf set, so it doesn't have like the side bits. So I just went and picked up some plywood and had them cut it at Home Depot because I don't have the means to like be cutting plywood at our basement suite here. And I borrowed the power tools from my dad because my drill like can only do like 3 screws and then it goes dead. So I borrowed my dad's power tools and we're just gonna try quickly build a shelf setup for the gear storage area. Okay, so this here is the metal shelving bits, and I'm gonna just use plywood on either side and just gonna bolt the shelves to it. It's gonna go right here. This is like an old fireplace thing that came with our apartment that we're just gonna get rid of in here because it's not very functional. So the shelves are gonna go right here. So there we go. Some nice finished shelves. It's definitely not going to win any like construction awards, but they're like decently sturdy, and there's a lot of shelves that I can just put a ton of stuff on. And sometimes just having a place you can put stuff is just so handy. So yeah, I'm going to try to put some gear stuff on here and get more organized. But so far I'm pretty happy for some free shelves. That's not a bad deal. I'll take free shelves any day. Okay, so done building those shelves. Now I'm actually gonna head out and spend some time with my younger brother, because we're like half the way through summer and I have not had much time to hang out with my little bro, and that's just kind of sad. So we're gonna fix that today. So just got sushi with the younger bro. Good sushi. And now we're coming back to our place here, and we're gonna watch a movie. We opted to watch a movie at home to save money and eat popcorn instead of paying too much to watch a movie in the theater and not get popcorn. It's gonna be good. You gotta check out the shelves I built, okay? What do you think?
They're beautiful.
You can store a lot of stuff in here. Do you want to try climb up on that one, see if it holds?
No.
You don't trust my construction skills? That would not go well. Okay, so you're gonna make the milkshakes and I'm gonna make the popcorn. Just finished watching a movie with my little bro. So good to hang out, and I dropped him back off at his place. But things in here came together really well. Happy about the situation. Gonna get all the gear kind of organized into here as I prep it for Thursday. Thursday is the day we start, August 4th. We're starting shooting so soon. So as I promised, I said I was gonna talk a little bit today about the mental things that are going on right now, and just kind of the inner dialogue and some of the problems that I'm trying to solve, and the things that go along with just the creative stress of trying to make this series happen. So let's have some real talk. One of the stress points that's just been like going on in my head across the past like 2 weeks, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks especially. This is kind of like a daily. I use the word stress, but the word stress, that doesn't sound like a good word. So I need to come up with like a different one than the word like stress. Just like a present awareness of it. And that is just, how am I going to capture the stories? How am I going to make sure that the stories are good? Is there actually going to be good stories that happen? I mean, because I've said we're going to make 5 episodes, and what are those 5 episodes all going to be? And you can have these ideas, but then you start to try like build out what they could like look like in your head. But the events like have to happen, and everything, like when you start shooting, everything just like goes. And it just like sometimes goes so bad, and you just have to like improvise. And I've been like trying to plan out in my head for each episode that I'm shooting, like while the events are happening, am I going to be trying to get like the interview dialogue to try drive along the pieces, or am I going to try to do like the interviews afterwards, and what's the feel of that all going to be? And I've just been like thinking about that every single day. And one of the inevitable things that I've been thinking about is like, is it going to be up to people's expectations? Like, people have seen Untethered, like, is it going to be at that level? And I don't just, like, it's easy to think about how's the viewer going to experience it? Like, that's the easiest lens to kind of perceive the quality and how good something ends up being. Like, do people enjoy watching it? But the reality is, like, that's so internally driven, just this idea that I want to create something that's incredible, and I want it to create something that's like as good as or better. I like making things that improve on what I previously made. And that kind of goes along with like this like unique weird stress, because I mean I made Untethered, and that's like something that I made, and I'm really proud of it. And how do I then set out to make another thing in the same genre that, you know, has the same people in it? And last year, like, you know, we were following the story that eventually folded out to be a world record story, and this year's probably not going to be that. So I'm just like thinking about how am I going to make something that's like engaging. And part of me, like the little voice, can just be like worried, like, oh, people aren't going to like it as much because it doesn't have this like world record component. And I don't know, it's like, that's just like the constant thing. And it's not so much being worried what people are going to think. But at the same time, it is being worried what people are going to be thinking, because as a director, as a storyteller, I care what the end viewer thinks. That's actually really important. That's like why I make videos to begin with. It's for a viewer. I don't just make videos. I don't slave away for like hours just to make videos for myself. It's like altruistic, and how like artistically pure that would be. Like my drive and my like artistic motivations are certainly driven in part by the fact that people are going to watch it. And that's like really important to me, that people watch it, because I want them to experience something that matters to me. So that's kind of part of the inner dialogue that's been going on into my head. Like, is the stories going to suck? Like, are interesting things actually going to happen? Am I going to capture stories that like move people? And that's just constantly what's going through my mind. And that's just like a constant like kind of like layer that's happening through my consciousness in my day in and day out. And then there's like the stress that goes along with trying to do all the administrative type of tasks that go along with this. So like all the stuff and all the pitches and all the things. And like part of me is a little sad that the sponsor side of things hasn't panned out the way that I really believed it could. And that's just like, that just makes me sad, because I mean, last year I was in a fortunate position where I was working for a production company where I could borrow so much of their equipment and resources, and I could just like work my butt off during the week to like make it happen. And now I'm in a new position where I'm like fully working for my own company, and I don't have the access to the equipment and resources, and all those things just like add up. And it's like challenging to find like the middle ground to like, how do I not care about equipment and gear, but at the same time equipment and gear is like really, really important. And that's just like the balance of all of it, because there's like, I know what like my ideal setups are, and like it's so challenging to go into these circumstances and not have what you feel is like the ideal. And like it's hard to have less than what you had last time you set out to shoot this, because that's the position we're in currently. Like last year I just had a lot more at my disposal, and this time around I don't. So yeah, all that's kind of just playing around into this big ball where I like really care about the story. I really care about how the end viewer is gonna like experience the story, and then I'm just like aware of all this like technical components and like the gear that needs to come together, and just like all this stuff. And yeah, I think it's a really good thing actually, and I think it's a huge motivator for me to like pursue excellence in everything that I do. This feeling I have right now definitely doesn't like make me feel comfortable. I don't like feel comfortable with it, but it's also just like that drive that's really hard to explain. And I know when we go out and we set to like start shooting on Thursday, I know I'm just gonna like it, I just know once we start like shooting, I like will be able to switch into a mode where I'll be able to perceive better the stories to be capturing. Because right now I'm just like going in a dance with myself. I'm like, I don't know what the stories are gonna be, but like of course I don't know what the stories are gonna be, because they're not happening yet, and I just need to be like hungry for when they do, to just like be on it. So yeah, you better believe when Thursday comes, like I'm gonna be on it, and I'm gonna be like working like as hard as I can. I'm just gonna give it everything, and I'm gonna give it everything for myself, so I can like be okay with myself and the craft that I care about, and like just growing as a person and telling stories. But I'm also gonna do that for the end viewer, because I want the end viewer experience to be exceptional. So yeah, those are just some of the things going on in my mind. That's just like part of the creative process. I'm curious, what is your creative process like, and what do you feel like right before you're about to like work on a project that's important to you? And like, what does that feel like, and how do you go through that process? I'd love to hear that down in the comments. But yeah, my happy for today was hanging out with my younger brother. My crappy for today was I wanted to clean up in here and I didn't, so it's a bit of a crappy. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and remember, life's better when you make stuff.